Good morning, everybody, and welcome back once again to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name's Mark Love. Today I'm going to be talking about a brand new Valencia that just came in. This is a 2025. It's the 38 RB floor plan, which is a bath and a half with the larger back bathroom. And really, of the Valencias, it's one of my favorite floor plans. If you don't need the bunkhouse, I prefer to go with this route. Walk around the outside. I want to talk about the chassis first. But before we get into that, take a look at this paint job. This is the throttle, they call it. And you can see the metal flake in there, the turquoise and silver. When the sun is out shining, it's just a beautiful paint job. This unit is just under 39 feet, just under 40 feet long. It's about 12 feet, 10 inches tall, 8 feet, 3 inches wide. And we're on a 33,000-pound GVW chassis with a 6.7 liter Cummins engine. This engine, the 6.7, is a 360 horse with 800 foot-pounds of torque. And as we walk around today, I want to talk a little bit more about the chassis than normal. Now, this is a very unique chassis. The S2 RV chassis is the only chassis that is made specifically for the RV industry. A lot of the Super Cs are on a Freightliner M2 chassis. The bigger ones go on a Freightliner Cascadia. But both of those chassis, they're really made for the trucking industry. When you're out on the highway, you see the over-road haulers all the time in the M2s, the Cascadias, you see the Peterbilts, a lot of things that they will build a Super C on. But the thing about those trucks, those chassis, they're made for the trucking industry where most of your cargo goes inside that box. It's in the center of the coach, right over the rails. Now, when they take an M2 chassis and they build an RV, of course, all your weight is on the outside. That's where your storage compartments are. That's where your slide outs are. When you run those out, you've got your kitchen appliances and so forth. So there's a lot more weight on the outside of them. So they designed this to kind of fill a gap, and they've done a lot of things to bring that center of gravity back to the middle. One of the things they did, I'll point it out when we get to the back, all the other chassis have front tanks, fuel tanks, and you might have a 100-gallon fuel tank with 50 on each side. There'll be a small hose connecting them, but to fill it up, you've got to fill it from both sides. With this chassis, they put 100 gallons in the back, in the middle, down low, better center of gravity. You've only got one fill, and it fills a lot faster. So that's one of the differences on this chassis alone. Now, if you take a look in here, another thing, well, let's walk over to the other side and I'll show you a little bit better. One thing I like about these, if I turn the wheel a little bit, I can scoot in here and work on my engine very easily. But you can see you've got all of your components, your water separators, your power steering feel, your oil dipstick, your oil fill. You can check your air filter on the other side. Everything's easy to access. And another thing they do here, take a look at these shocks. Those are actually Sachs shocks. Now, on most of these Super Cs, you have an air ride in the rear, shocks and leaf springs up front. The unique thing about the Sachs shocks, which is actually a division or owned by Rolls-Royce, is they are not a gas shock. When Freightliner FCCC, Freightliner Custom Chassis, builds and tests this chassis, they take it out on a test track and drive it for 10,000 miles, very bumpy. It's supposed to simulate 125,000 miles of actual use. And they found that those gas shocks tend to heat up more. When you get a leak, you don't know about it. These are hydraulic shocks, they hold up better. They found during that testing period, they might be replacing the gas shocks 1 or 2 times during the testing period, where they never have to do that with these sack shocks. So that's why they went that route. Another thing I want to point out here, it has to do with your steering mechanism. And if you look at this connecting arm for your steering wheel and the pivot point, you can see it's basically in line with the pivot point of the chassis. The reason they're doing that, when you go down a road and hit a bump, it can jerk your wheel quite a bit. The way the geometry is in here, you might feel the bounce, but it doesn't jerk the wheel to the left or right. So they did some unique things to this chassis that you don't find on some of the Freightliners. As long as we're here, let's continue walking down the passenger or the driver's side, talk about a few things. Another thing I really like, these mirrors, they are made to break away or to fold in if you need them. If you should happen to hit something, it'll collapse into itself rather than taking it off. And they're heavy duty. These things can hold a couple of 100 pounds without any problem. As I step up, like the tread that they've got right here, that's really handy in the winter when you've got snow and ice. We do have a plug here if you want to do your engine preheat. We've got our depth fill right here. And while we're at the door, I'll show you, we've got an air ride seat. This is kind of hard to show from the inside, but it's right here. So if you need to air up or air down, you do it right here. Our master chassis disconnect is right down here. So when you're done, you want to turn it off. That's all you need to do. And the other thing is the grab handles they give, it makes it easier for somebody who's not really tall to pull themselves up into here. I'm only about 5'8", so some of the taller chassis, I struggle a bit more, but this one's really easy for me to get up and get into. Again, I said this is a 33,000 pound GVWR, and we have 12,000 pounds of towing with this coach. Okay, back here in this first compartment, you can see we've got all our batteries. Now this one has the 3 lithium-ion battery package, which is an option. We've got our chassis batteries over here on the left. Along with the lithium batteries, we have 3 200-watt solar panels on the roof and a 3,000-watt inverter. Back here in this second compartment, we have our propane tank. Now, being a Valencia, we still have a propane furnace, a water heater, so your coach heat, your hot water comes from the propane, and you also have a quick connect over on your patio side. That's a nice feature because a lot of times you'll have a grill you want to take along and use outside. The propane's already in here. You don't have to bring your own bottle. Another thing I've talked about several times in the past, the compartment doors that Renegade makes, I think, are one of the best in the industry. Very heavy duty, well insulated, double latches, and you don't have to slam it. You just shut the door, it latches nice and tight. These two, we had our tanks, holding tanks. You can see some of the monitor panels here. This is our main dump. You can run it down through your hose down through the chassis there. Over here we have our water compartment. I like the way that they etch these in, or actually, it's not just a decal. It's going to be there permanently. You can see we have a whole house filter here, our low point drains, tank fill, city water, or if you're going to gravity fill it. We have our cable input, black tank dump there, and both our gray and black valves are up in the enclosed heated part of the coach. We also get an outside sprayer and then a power hose rail. It's manual out, power back in. Those are always nice when you're setting up and tearing down. Here's the exhaust for our furnace right here, the Suburban furnace. It's where you do your diesel fill. When we get around back, I'll show you where that tank is. 8K generator, and it is hot in Colorado today, so we're going to leave this running with the air conditioning on. You've got 2 air conditioners up there, little place to store a sewer hose right there. And again, I love the way these doors shut. And then this back compartment, kind of nice. You get a big storage area. This is your 50 amp power cord, power line. They do give you the adapter to go from 50 to 30 if you're at an RV park and that's all you have to choose from. You can see we've got our transfer switch in there, also another 110 outlet. Okay, as we come around back, and Nick, I should have warned you about this. I don't know if you can see it, but I kind of want to show you the fuel tank and where it is. Now, this is an option also to have the mud flap, but if you look right under there, our fuel tank is right here. And you notice it's a single 100-gallon, right exactly in the middle between the chassis rails near the back of the coach. It's a better position for weight distribution. And again, when I say they built this chassis particularly for the RV industry, these are some of the things they do different. With more of the weight, fuel tanks, other things inside, it makes it so it's not quite so top heavy. Most of your weight, like I said, is in your slide outs, your storage compartments, what you put in there, your appliances. So when you're using another chassis, all that weight's on the outside, adding more stress. To move some of that to the inside of the chassis rails just makes for a better driving experience. Now, we do have our 2-inch receiver hitch here. This is rated at 12,000 pounds. Got our 7-way right there. And like I say, we got the optional mud flap with this one also. Another thing about the back cap. Now this has got a camera system all the way around, both side cameras, rear cameras, but they make this cap in 2 pieces. So if you're to, back into something or have a collision and damage it down here, you're only replacing the bottom, not the entire cap, and that's really a nice feature. Great LED lights too. You can see our camera up there on top. Let's move around to the passenger side and check out some of the storage. Now, a couple of these compartments are open all the way, so you can see how much room you've got for, your chairs, ladder or something you want to take along, all your gear. A lot of room. Like I said, right here is our quick connect for our propane. Up here we've got another very large storage area. Same thing in the compartment in front of it. You also see we have an air hose you can tie into your air system. That's up under the hood. And we do have some travel bars. They recommend that you use them. However, they're never in when they arrive to us from the factory. But if you do notice one of your slides coming out a little bit, maybe not a bad idea to put that in there. And then we have one more compartment up here. And up in here you can see we've got our 3,000 watt inverter. Also, you can see the little heat vents there. They do heat their compartments, their underbelly. And right here is our Truma AquaGo. This is our on-demand hot water. A couple of things before we go inside I want to talk about, and I may have to pair my phone again. But Freightliner's got a couple of great apps, and one of them is this 24/7. Now basically what this is, it's a maintenance app. When you buy this coach, you put your information in there. It's going to keep track of when it's time for oil changes, when you need to change that water filter, air filter, things like that. It gives you warnings, and for a lot of us, even though we're mechanical, we may not keep up on the maintenance, but if you've got a message being sent to you that, hey, you're getting close, you need that oil change, you need a new filter, it'll keep reminding you again and again. So I really like this app here. And then the other one, this is our Vega Touch. Now, of course, every time I go in and out, I have to find the right one. It'll take me a minute. There we go. Put the code in, authenticate it. Now this is for all of my controls that you're going to find on your Firefly inside, particularly if we want to retract this awning right here. I can retract and extend it from this app, and the beauty of this is when you're by yourself, sometimes you have neighbors that are close. You might have a tree or something there. I like to go out and watch it, see how close I'm getting to it. Then when we step inside, same thing with the slides. In fact, I'll go ahead and run out this bedroom slide right now. And you can see as this is coming out, again, it's nice to know that you've got clearance if you're in a tight area, and you don't always have somebody with you when you're opening up. So I really do like this, this app here. Once I get that open, there we go. I want to go inside, and why don't you go ahead and head in first and step up to the cab. I want to show you what it's like when you travel. And with this main slide in, you can see how much room I've got to pass through here. A lot of people make comments that they travel with a German Shepherd or maybe a Golden Retriever. The big dogs have problem going through the narrow aisles, but you can see how easy it is for me to get in here. I can access my refrigerator, get to the half bathroom, get all the way back to my pantry and closet area. There's really no pinch point that makes it hard to access the whole coach. And then when it's time, let me get back in here. I'm just going to go ahead and extend this front slide. I don't know if you can hear the air conditioner in here, but it did hit 100 degrees in Denver yesterday. It is miserably hot, so this maybe took 10 minutes to cool down. All right, well, that's opening up. I'll tell you that the interior color here is the Hamden, and I really like kind of a gray tone. Like say the paint job is called the Throttle. There we go, once we get it all the way open. So let's take a look at the floor plan. Again, this is the 38 RB Valencia. Over here behind the driver's seat, we've got some nice storage. I like the fact that these are open. It helps get longer items in there. And also, if you reach behind here, you find that it's solid wood. It's not a wrap. They're not using poplar or pine or something in a veneer. It's all solid wood cabinetry. This model, we opted for the theater seats in lieu of the standard couch. You have a little storage here, some cup holders, nice recliners, comfortable spot to watch TV. Okay, next to our theater seating, we have our dinette booth. Now this one does collapse into a bed, and like I've told many people before, if you see this little angled piece down under here, that lets you know that you can collapse this down. It'll rest on these cleats, and then under each of your benches you have a little storage, and these are the cushions that will make it into a bed. You also have a couple of seat belts back here. There are seat belts in the theater seating, so you've got seat belts for 6 people. I like this, your cup holders. You've got your 110 outlets, your USB, USC ports, place to put your cards or score pads, or you know, if you're an old-time gamer, I guess the new gamers is all electronic, but nice little feature right there, and a big window here over your dinette. We do have the manual MCD shades, so you've got the day and the night, and all of these windows open. Of course, this lifts. You can open both ends and get a cross breeze on your other windows. We have a bottom that cranks out. Nice when it's raining because you can keep these open and get some good airflow through that. Okay, across from our dinette, we have our kitchen. So let's take a look here at the refrigerator. Nice residential style refrigerator with an ice maker. Overhead, we do have a compartment for video components. Now, this does have the Winegard satellite on it. It doesn't have any boxes. A lot of people are using streaming services now rather than a satellite, but maybe you've got a gaming system, a DVD, something like that you want to put in there. Over here in the kitchen, we've got a nice storage area above our microwave. And this is a convection microwave. Down below we have our 3-burner cooktop. And I actually like cooking over gas or propane. You can control the heat better, I think. And this is a sealed burner stove. If you look down here, you don't have food and junk getting down underneath there, so there's not as much cleanup. This is really a nice stove. And of course, you get the nice solid surface covers, give you your counter space back. Little silverware drawer there. There's our water filter. We do get a little touch-up paint for the 3-color paint job outside. And then you've got some lube for your slides. Soft closed drawers throughout. Nice storage below here. On this side, we've got a place for your trash can. A little bit more storage. Here we've got a deep undermount stainless steel sink with a residential style sprayer. I actually like these single sinks. You can find, you know, inserts that go in here if you're washing dishes by hand. You can stack them up there if you're cleaning vegetables and stuff like that. So I like the one large open sink. It gives you more room when you do need it. And then again, more storage up above, all of your manuals. Over here above the door, we do have our 39-inch TV, and this, what did I do? I got my latch a little bit jammed in there, but it does pull out and articulate for you. Up here over the cab, we have a separate sleeping area. This is a queen bed. You do get a, what is that, a 32-inch TV up above. So there you go for a sleeper. Now over on this side, you see we've got a 110, oops, a 110. We've got our USBs, USCs. We also have switches. We can turn all our lights on or off. We can do our bunk lights up there, our ceiling lights. And then we also have our power shade, which is kind of nice. You know, that'd probably be open more at night for me when I'm watching the stars. Let's keep the sun out and try to keep it a little cooler, drop that down. You can also do that with the phone app. And when it's time to travel, I'm just going to push this all back up, get it out of the way. Makes it easy to get in and out of the cab. We'll come back to that at the end of the video. Let's continue to look at the floor plan here. Okay, as we walk back toward the bedroom area, first off, we've got our pantry area up above here. These are adjustable shelves. And then we've got our breakers and fuses right here, 12-volt fuses. These are our 110 breakers. And you can see everything's labeled, not only on the breaker, but over here on the door. You've got them all labeled. And they give you some emergency numbers to contact if you need them. Next to that, we do have our Splendide stackable washer and dryer. Now, if you don't want a washer and dryer, you can get a plumbed and then leave this empty and have extra storage space, a little bit more wardrobe. Now, across from the washer dryer, we have our half bathroom. And this one's actually pretty roomy. Let me just open the storage area so you guys can get a look at it in there. porcelain toilet, and that is a macerator toilet, so chops up the solid waste before it goes down into your holding tank. While you're looking down there, the floor, this Beaufort flooring, I believe, it's a great look, and it goes really well with that gray with that Hamden interior. Then as we come back into the bedroom here, see we've got storage on each side of the bed. Each side has 110 outlet and USB ports. A couple of reading lights overhead. We have another one of our Firefly panels, so if you get into bed and have forgotten to turn out the lights up in the kitchen, you can shut them all off right here. And again, a very deep, wide open storage area up above. Across from your bed, we've got our wardrobe and area for all your clothes. You can see on each side, we've got 4 nice deep drawers. And get a shot from the side here. Look at these dovetails. They really make nice cabinetries. All hardwood, very well built. These aren't gonna jiggle loose and fall apart on you in the first 10,000 miles. And again, all soft close, like we pointed out. There's the remote for your bedroom TV. Again, another 32-inch TV. We do get another area for video components, like say gaming systems, DVD players, things like that. A little more storage down here. And then on this side, we get the same. 4 drawers with a wardrobe area up above. I like when you look in there and you see some of the wood like this. You see the grain in it. This is actual wood. They do a great job. It's not a flimsy piece of plywood or particle board or something like that. Okay, and then back in here we've got our main bathroom. Again, let me just open these up. I'll show you this one up here first, and then need to close it to get these open. Nice large area for your linens, toiletries, whatever you need. Nice storage shelf down below. Again, a macerator toilet back here, a integrated sink, undermount sink. Some nice storage down below. Now, for some of you larger people, this may be one of the things you consider a drawback. It is a radius shower. It's not huge. But again, with this skylight up here, I mean, if you're 6'2", 6'3", you can still get in here and take a shower quite easily. Nice rainfall handheld shower head there. And let me see, did we get a look in here? We've got our medicine cabinet. Also on both sides of the drawer of the bedroom, there we go. Always a safety latch somewhere. We've got a couple of nice solid privacy doors. And that is a solid wood door. Like I say, we've got another one on the other side of the bedroom. Let's walk up and talk about the cab a little bit here. So these seats do pivot. They can turn around and become part of the living area. And like I say, these are air ride, and you got to kind of figure out where that is. Let's go ahead and turn that on. Now, this beeping that you're hearing is quite common. What it is, it's saying your levelers are down. No, they're not actually down. It might be a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch that they drop. All you got to do is hit or retract, and that comes right back up. So let's get our Garmin on here. This does have the Detroit Assurance safety package with it. You've got the blind spot monitoring, lane assist, stuff like that. Okay, I'll shut this off. Here's our Garmin firing up. While we're waiting on that, down here you've got some lights at the footwell. Your lane departure warning, you can turn that off if you don't like getting that beeping. We've got our auto traction control that you can shut off. Suspension dump, this is a nice feature. When you're hooking up to a trailer, you can drop that right down, back underneath, makes it easier to hook up. And then on those cold days when you want your fast idle, you can turn it on right here. This switch is for our camera. Maybe we've got a camera on the back of our stacker trailer, so we can watch that one or the one on the back of the unit here. As we get into some of our apps here, I'll turn the camera on. And like I say, that's one of our side. There we go. That is our rear camera. You do have them on both side cameras also. You can, what you're going to use mostly is your camera, your navigation. You've got some video tutorials that are really nice. Some great helpful hints there. This is where you're going to pair in your phone or tune it in. If you want to go to the navigation, it does have the Garmin navigation on that. Well, I'm not going to wait around for that to pair up. Our 4-point levelers right here, fully automatic levelers. Over here on the dash, let's go ahead and drop this down. Once we have our phone paired in, we can answer it here. We can adjust our radio. We can scroll through our screens up here. This side, more for your cruise control and things like that. Nice digital dash. It's a very comfortable driving coach. And as I pointed out, this being made specifically for the RV business, it actually has a 55-degree wheel cut up front, which is close to what your Class A motorhomes have. One of the nice things about that is you can turn a tighter U-turn if you pull into a cul-de-sac and you realize, oh, I can't get through here, and you have to turn around. They tried to design this so you don't have to back up in that situation. 90% of all damage to motorhomes is done when you're in reverse. So with that 55-degree wheel cut, you can turn a tighter radius, get yourself in and out of those tight spots a lot easier. Once again, this is a 2025 Valencia 38RB. My name's Mark Love. If you have any questions on this, or you want to come down and maybe take one for a test drive, please reach out to me. I think they're showing my information there. Text or call me at 970-631-0083, or send me an email at mlove@transwest.com. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Happy trails, my friends. Travel safe out there. Summer's here and there's a lot of people on the road. We will see you next week.